Today I'm going to be talking about how the gentle, slow movements of Qigong can actually help you heal your body and overcome erectile dysfunction. This is going to be a fun one, so stick around. And if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe so you can get updates every week. So what is Qigong? Qigong is a Chinese practice that comes out of Taoism that is designed to help make the body healthy and strong enough to actually attain spiritual discipline or attain actual spiritual development. So different spiritual traditions look at the relationship between the mind and body differently and emphasize the mind and body in different amounts. But the tradition that I've spent the most time in is definitely Taoism, so it's the one that I'll talk about from today. Qigong basically means Qi work, and it's based on the principle that underneath, at a subtler layer than our physical body, that there's something else, a type of energy that flows through our body. And from the perspective of Chinese medicine, our body and our health are very interclosely related with how Qi actually flows in the body. So where Qi is blocked is where you tend to have disease and pain and discomfort. And when Qi is flowing healthily, then your body's healthy. So whether or not you believe in Qi is not really relevant. The thing that is relevant is that this has been used for thousands of years to create tremendous health in the body. And so I was talking with a teacher of mine recently, and he talked about the difference between Chinese medicine and Western medicine. And he said that one of the ways that had been talked about with him is that it ranges, if you look at health and you use a score of negative 100 being like negative 99 would be like near death, and then like 99 or 100 would be like completely as healthy as you possibly could be. In general, Western medicine tends to focus on the negative 99 to 0. So you only go to a doctor when you're sick or when something's wrong, and then the point of it is to try and bring you back to 0. So with practices like Qigong, those are capable of dealing with the negative portions, but they're also really designed to dramatically increase the health of the person practicing. So the average age of somebody who starts Qigong in China is over 50. And people tend to start it when their health starts slipping or when they start to realize that they don't have the same body that they had when they were 18. And so the most common reason that men in China start practicing is because they can't have sex anymore. It's really common for men to start practicing Qigong or Tai Chi and build tremendous health from that. And then they live out the older years of their life, oftentimes in better physical condition than they were when they were younger. And so Qigong uses very gentle movements that can seem very simple from the outside, but oftentimes are very complicated. And if you learn the depth of how they actually work, but they're designed to do very specific things in the body and to open up and at the early stages to really just open up and relax the body. The early stages of Qigong are really about relaxing the nervous system and being able to move the body freely without tension. And so when you learn to relax your body, there's a very different kind of strength that starts to naturally happen. And when you're dealing with a problem like erectile dysfunction, the core from a physical standpoint, the core issue is that the muscles in your penis won't relax enough to allow the cavernous areas of the penis to fill with blood, which basically means what you end up with is like 60 to 70% erections that aren't full enough to actually restrict the blood flow. So it's hard to keep those sort of in between erections, and you can't get a full erection. And so the way to deal with that is through learning to relax the nervous system. And these gentle movements are very fluid, and they're designed in ways that have been practiced for thousands of years that just relax and target the nervous system, and then that allows your muscles to relax. During the process of this, you learn to feel more and more of what's actually happening in your body. And this is a very pleasurable experience, but it can also be painful as well. So if you have areas of your body like your lower back and your hips and your upper thighs that are, or sorry, your hamstrings that have been tense for a long period of time, sometimes going from not feeling them to feeling that pain can be really jarring. A lot of times people are surprised at how uncomfortable their body really is while they're when they start practicing Qigong. And so one of the earlier barriers that you have to deal with is to continue to practice even when your body doesn't feel good. Because the way it kind of goes is you go from numb to really uncomfortable, and then from there your experience of like it becomes really intense, and then after the discomfort starts to lift and your body starts to, as it relaxes more, it becomes very pleasurable. I've had many experiences where I'm just sitting, and the experience of just sitting in a chair can be as pleasurable in a different way as, having sex. Your body at any given moment has nerves that are all over your body. And most of the time, your attention isn't tuning into any of that. It's tuning into very small portions that are required. Like if you're eating, maybe you're paying attention to the food, or maybe if you're, you're doing something that requires touch, you will. But for the most part, our minds stay in our thoughts. And so as you relax your body more, it becomes easier to keep your attention in your body because it doesn't feel is uncomfortable. And the opposite of it actually becomes really pleasurable. So these practices are beautiful and they're challenging, and they just have so many benefits. My journey with erectile dysfunction has been very intertwined with Qigong. I honestly did practice significantly more meditation than Qigong and Tai Chi at the earlier stages of that, and even through a lot of my battle with it. But after having overcome erectile dysfunction, there's still a lot of physical tension in my body that I haven't been able to let go of. And so Qigong has become much more of a focus for me at this point, and will continue to be so in the future years, just because I value my own health. And I really want to have a better and better relationship with this body because it's the only one I have. And as somebody who's had cancer, I don't take my health lightly anymore. So I hope you got something out of this today. If you did, like and subscribe so you can get updates. Next week's video is going to be along similar lines. We're going to talk about meditation. So if that's interesting, make sure you're subscribed so you can get notifications for that. And I do some one-on-one work with men. If you are struggling with ED and you want to help work through this problem, I'm happy to do so. I help men with this every day, and it's been a really enjoyable passion for me. And watching someone overcome ED is an incredible experience to go through, both from the experience of doing it and then from the experience of getting to watch other people do it. So I get a lot of joy out of that, and I look forward to working with you. So I'll see you next week.